Hey everybody, it's Lisa here. I'm just doing my first ever interview with Cathy. Now Cathy is a personal friend of mine and we did our New Year journey roughly around the same time. So here's Cathy just to tell you a little bit more about her journey. Hi Cathy.
Hey Lisa, how are you? Uh,
I'm grand, how are you?
Grand, very good. What do you want me to tell you about me?
Well, tell us a bit about the new you, how you got on with how much weight you lost.
Okay, I lost 3 stone in 3 months. Um, I started last year, last kind of June, and
Yeah.
I've lost 3 stone in 3 months. So,
But
yeah,
you're maintaining so at the moment.
yeah, I've been maintaining since, and I've had no problem kind of with it, with the maintaining. So, yeah, it's been pretty good. Like I suppose having a friend like yourself being my little buddy, like, to diet with. So it's been pretty handy to stay on the clear and narrow, like, so.
Yeah, definitely. It's great that when you have somebody to help motivate you and keep you
Yeah,
on
absolutely. It's
top.
it's definitely like the secret really to this is just to have the support and to have a dieting buddy or to have just
Yeah.
someone just to kind of bounce off, yeah, when
Did
the days
you
go
kind of
bad.
felt you got a lot of support in Secret Slimmers? How would you found that
Oh
group?
yeah, that was really good.
Yeah,
Like it's just like your little secret family of friends and that are all in the
yeah.
same little boat as yourself. Like because it's just everyone is
We
kind
all
of
know
at
what
some.
we're going through, and we all know the how hard it can be, to lose weight, and we've
That's it. And like I suppose everyone has
like
like some secret. So it's like
yeah,
or some little tip to give someone that's just started, or I found
yeah,
it useful to find people who were just maybe a week or two ahead of me, and so I kind of
yeah.
see where I was going to be next week, or and I found that very it just,
Inspiring,
yeah, it does really, absolutely, yeah.
when you look at pictures in there and you see this person did do it, and
Yeah, that's
so
it.
it really spurs you on to get your own picture in there, doesn't it?
Hmm?
It really spurs you
Yeah,
on to get your own
absolutely. It does.
picture.
Like, and I suppose, like I was quite surprised when I did even put in my picture because that wouldn't be me. Like, so then it was like, I suppose, because you feel so comfortable in that group, you do these things, and I saw how helpful it was for me to see someone else like yourself, so,
But
um,
it's funny how different. I remember when I put up my first picture, I was so like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing,
yeah.
putting up my before. And then when it comes to the after one and you're eventually putting it up, it's like, it just feels so different, doesn't it?
It
Being
does. I suppose
you
that
are as you are.
it is. I suppose that first picture, it's like nearly putting up a naked picture of yourself because it's so embarrassing
Yeah,
because you're like, oh, good God,
yeah.
and it's like, but you have been that weight and you were that weight, and there are so many pictures out there of you being. So it's like it is, but I mean, there's nothing like putting up your post picture where you're like, yeah, that's me.
That's it.
Be
It's
embarrassed with the
so,
first picture.
such a different feeling. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
it is. It is really like.
So how many dress sizes roughly would you have dropped in the,
I've gone from like maybe a 16 or 18 to like a 12 to 14. Um, that'll be so maybe 3 dress sizes.
yeah, yeah, very good. And
Mm.
like, how would you find now when you're going shopping, is it different shops you
Ah,
go
yeah,
to?
sure.
And,
Like as you know yourself, it's like
yeah,
it's like opened up a whole new just section in the new shop of like dresses and
uh,
skirts and fitted top. It's not smocks anymore or leggings and
you're not
dresses.
covered up
No,
anymore.
no, it's like showing off your legs and whatever. Like so, it's great. Like it's just and it's well, it's just even like shopping online or whatever. It's like it opens up so much more because everything is much, I don't know, like it's more affordable. Like you're not having to buy like size 20s or whatever it is that
Yeah,
ridiculously dear, and everything is just that bit better. Like everything is a bit cheaper, and yeah.
definitely. And you have a pretty hectic lifestyle, don't you? You have
Yeah,
a lot
like
going on.
I'm a nurse, so I work like 12-hour shifts, and I work full time, and I have 2 small kids. So yeah, it's as hectic as it goes, really, I suppose.
Yeah, because I think some people are worried, if they do shift work especially, and if they have small kids,
Yeah,
how do they cook for the kids, and,
yeah.
not eat, and how
I
do they
suppose,
manage?
when you're on shift work anyway, um, you're packing your bag for work or, for your food for the day. Like, so for that, it was very simple for me. It was like, the three, and I would possibly bring 4 products with me going to work. That if I was
Yeah,
having, a bit of a longer, harder day, instead of reaching for the biscuits at 4 o'clock, it was like, right, I'll have
yeah,
an extra shake or I'll have whatever. Like, but I did find work. easier than I was at home, because at home is where, you know, my comfort food is, and, you know, when you have
Yeah.
small kids, finishing their dinner, eating whatever they're not, and buying
Yeah.
sweets for them. So that was
Yeah.
definitely the tougher part. But I always made sure that when I had my dinner, like we had our dinner together, that would be our thing at home anyway, where, you know, we'd have our dinner together when I'm off.
Yeah.
So like, you know, they didn't cop the fact that I was eating, you know, spaghetti noodle not, or, you know, whatever. It was like, it was in a bowl, and, you know, we all, so there was no real difference in that sense.
Yeah, and I always found that my kids, they tend to want what I'm having.
Yeah, of course,
And you're
obviously.
like, it's mine. You
Especially
have,
the wafers.
oh, yes,
It's
yeah,
like,
they always want
no,
bars.
it's all I can eat. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's so true.
so how would you manage them in work? Like, what would be a typical day time-wise? Because, as I said, the 12-hour shift seems to
Yeah,
look a
so
long.
because it's a longer day, like for me, like you know, I'd start, you know, my breakfast, which would always be a shake. I'd start that at maybe around 11:30, 12. I would keep it as late
Yeah,
as possible. Would have my coffee in the morning, my water. Try to get as much water in before my first shake, and then, you know, I'd space it off every maybe 3 hours. So it was like shake at around 11, bar around 12, maybe my meal around 6, 7, and sometimes I kind of halved my bar around the 2 or 3 o'clock, so I would have another half to have later on. That was my little secret.
yeah,
You know, so I kind of still felt I was having, you know, and sometimes if I had the four product, I had the four product. I wasn't, you know, beating myself up over it. You know,
no,
yeah, you have days like that.
it still works. Like, even if you have the four, it still
Yeah,
works.
and it still works. You still lose the weight. You know, it's 100 times better than reaching for that slice of bread or bar of chocolate, or, you know,
And they're so filling, the bars there, aren't they?
really. Like, and I suppose it kind of like, if you give yourself the 3 or 4 days, like after 3 or 4 days, you do get into the mindset of like, I don't need to be bloated to be full. Like, it's like, okay, I had my bar. That's sufficient. That's okay. You know, it's
Yeah.
like it does, and it's like your stomach size reduces, so like you're not like craving and getting the hunger pangs by the fourth day. That's what I
And I
found.
think that's the thing, because my issue was you couldn't fill me. I
Yeah,
was never full. I'd eat my dinner and I'd be like, what's next? You
yeah.
know, something sweet then. And it was all habit.
Mhm.
And I never actually knew when I was full. I couldn't tell the difference anymore. It was just,
I
you
eat
know,
and
I
I eat and I
felt
eat. Yeah,
sluggish. You know, it was a
yeah.
horrible feeling to feel that way for years and not do anything about it.
It is, and I
You
suppose I did find that, you know, by having the diet, like this diet, it kind of took that pressure off the whole eating, like of like what to eat next. You
know,
knew what you had. You had three things, and that was the end of that. There was no more
yeah.
kind of like, oh, will I, you know, slip down to someone's house and have a cup of tea and a scone, or, you know, I was like, no,
Yeah.
that was it. That's it, and that's the end of that. And I was like, build a bridge now and get on with it. Like so,
That's
you
it,
know,
yeah.
and
You
it does.
don't really teach it because, you know, I don't know, I find the product fulfilling, so you've enough when you have
Yeah,
one.
that's
You're not running
it.
for
That's
another.
it. You don't, and like that. If you do, you do, and like, it's like move on next day, start
Yeah,
again. And I do find the water though is like, it's like it's just like miracle nearly. Like the water, if you can get like 3+ liters in a day, you are, like,
yeah.
weight loss is that bit more the next
Oh,
day,
yeah, it makes
week,
huge
or
difference. Would
yeah.
you have been a washer fan before the
Oh,
diet?
like absolutely hate water. Like I absolutely would not be, like, unless it was I drink something with a diluted thing in it. Like, but so for me to
Yeah,
even drink plain water was a
it's a big
massive
thing.
thing with this diet. I was like, I won't, and all of a sudden I have a newfound love for water. That it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's really weird. Like, and it's like even now, like I used to always drink milk with my dinner, or, you know, whatever. It's like I
yeah,
just, even now that I'm back maintaining, it's like water, pints of water, and, you know, like straight away you're even cutting out calorie wise by not having that pint of milk. Like it's, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
now
No,
it's like, yeah.
it's brilliant, and you notice it as well in your skin and your hair and your nails, you
Everything,
know.
absolutely. Your skin is
Yeah,
that bit clearer, like you're that bit brighter looking.
definitely.
No, it is, like it is, it's very good. Yeah.
And what advice would you give somebody else starting out the plan? Any tips or?
I suppose just to make sure that they like clear their diary for themselves, like give themselves those couple of weeks to themselves, that, you know, that they owe it to themselves, and that's it, clear it, you know, take out, you know, those nights that you are planning on going out, just for them even the first couple of weeks. And just, I suppose, to get into secret slimmers,
Yeah,
you know, and just like to plan out and make sure you have your products, that even if you're out and about for the day, like to even throw those snacks, the chili snacks, something into your bag that you have, that if you are stuck, you are starving, you're out and about, you don't have an excuse, because I think that's the first thing. It's like, I didn't have it, I had to have a sandwich, or I had to have, you know, so just don't
yeah.
give yourself the
Yeah, exactly.
opportunity to fail, like, you know, like make sure, just
Yeah,
give yourself, I mean, like to lose a stone in like, you know, maybe 10 days, I mean, that in itself is a massive incentive to anybody, like to go, you know, I can guarantee you within 10 to 14 days, you have the possibility of a stone off. It's huge.
yeah. And I think that's the thing. I think people worry as well, like, oh, what about alcohol and oh, it's going to ruin my social life. Like, as you know, when my sister's boyfriend was
Yeah,
going away, moving away, I went out that night. I
you
drank
did.
sparkling water. I still had a great night.
You did,
Like,
and
you
like,
don't need 2 weeks or months out of your life
that's
where you
it.
just
And I was even, because I hadn't started the diet by then, so I was even quite surprised. I was like, oh, she'll drink, she'll drink. And it wasn't, you just, and you were, and I suppose for the fact that everybody was coming up to you that night going, oh my God, look how great you look, oh my God, how much,
yeah.
that in itself would make you sit there eating that, drinking that sparkling water. I was going, I am not eating and I'm not drinking.
I think I was 3 stone
Yeah,
down at that stage, and people were just
yeah,
so blown away. It kind of kept me going,
absolutely.
It just feels good to
No,
be
and
the
like, and that's it. Like, I mean, nothing will ever taste as good as that feeling of being there and people telling you, you know, what you look unreal, and that's what you were getting that night. And I think that for me was like, oh, this can be done.
and then
So yeah, so the alcohol thing, like it is, the alcohol is, I suppose, you know,
you
if you can,
can live
you
without it
can,
for a
like,
few
and I
months.
mean, like that's it. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
give yourself the couple of weeks, whatever it is. And if you're having your little, for me as well, I set myself targets. Like, so I didn't have like, so I had like, you know, maybe like, was it maybe 8 weeks I had a break, and you know, I had something, you know, whatever, and I was back on it again, and you know, finished the last lot of it. So if you have kind of a night out or something, or you know, a wedding coming up, or something that's, you know, your reason for losing the weight, you know,
yeah,
at that, keeping your goal and count it down, like, you know that you are, you know, you are getting the reward at the end of it, like you are getting
yeah,
that. But reality is, like, you'll be, you know, looking so great, you probably don't want to get off it, you know.
yeah. That's true. And would you have done much exercise while you were on the plan?
I suppose I would always been kind of active, always do classes like Zumba aerobics or
Yeah, you're
things
good
like
with it.
that, you know. But I suppose now, like I suppose I would have always been active, but like now it's just a different, I suppose, because I have the weight gone. Like I suppose the intensity is a bit higher. I can
Yeah,
go for longer, you know, or whatever. So like my new thing, since I started, since I lost the weight, I took up running. I never ran. Always admired and you know, looked on enviously at
yeah,
anyone that could run. And since I started and like lost the weight, like my running is what I've been doing, and I could never in a million years, like especially being 3 stone heavier, could ever have run. Never in a million years. And now
yeah.
that's my thing. It's a very normal thing for me to do, which is, you
And
know.
you recently did what was it, a mini marathon?
I did. Yeah, I did. I've done 2 5Ks and a 10K, like in the past 6 months, and I kind of keep myself, like, you know, I sign myself up for new, anything that's coming
Yeah,
up, anything for charity, I'll sign myself up. So then I have like a goal in my head. I'm like, okay, I need to stay on it. You know, I need to keep myself, you know, active and whatever. So then it's like, you know, and there's nothing like, you know, how well and how good you feel about yourself for finishing it. You know,
yeah.
so.
I definitely want to do, so you need to push me.
We're signing ourselves up for the Cork Mini Marathon September. That's it.
Speaking of the
You and me.
run.
Excellent.
So,
Uh,
so if you could sum up your journey in one word, what would it be?
I suppose it was like my one word, I suppose, would be fast. It happened so fast. The weight fell
Yeah,
off me so fast. Like it was like 12 weeks, 3 stone. Like a dramatic change, like, you know, and like it just, everything was so fast. I couldn't believe how fast. I mean, I've been like for a long, long time on like low calorie diets, you know, buying the next
yeah,
thing, buying, you know, and it's like this one works. Like it's worked for me, it's worked for you.
yeah,
You know, the evidence is there, like, you know, and so yeah, it was just so fast, and like the fact that I've maintained, I suppose it's, you know,
yeah. That's
that's
it. It's just proof of the pudding is that you can keep it off,
yeah.
and I think people are scared of that as well. They think you always have the ones to do the horror stories, but you
Yeah.
do maintain once you don't revert back to the old
No,
ways.
and I suppose you do,
You never
like,
go back to that
no,
way.
it's like me and you always like being the fatter ones in the pictures, always being, you know, the hiding behind each other, like not want, you know, and
Yeah,
it's like, no, it's like, right, we're taking center stage now.
yeah. It's about time.
Time, 30 years later. So yeah,
Yeah,
so it does, but yeah, like it is, I mean, you do it for yourself, and if, you know, It's like, not sitting in a picture, pushing your bag on your lap, trying to hide your
No.
belly. I don't want to be there again. I don't want to leave my jacket on for the night and a night out, pulling at my top, fixing myself up. It's like, no, I'm wearing a dress. That's
That's
it.
it. And feeling confident,
Yeah.
and it's just a totally different
It is,
world, really.
it is really like, so yeah, highly recommend it.
Very good. Thanks a million, Cathy, for
Not a
taking the time to talk to me.
Cheers.
Very good.
Thanks, Lisa.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.